Oh hey guys, so way back when, I made a review on the fucking 3DO, and honestly, it's not that good. It's really not, let's be real here. So, let's get back into it and give this system another shot. I mean, not really anything else to review right now? No. Nope. Not a thing. Anyways. So, the 3DO, apparently one of the worst game systems that come to mind for a lot of people, starting off with a damn steep price and games that weren't up to snuff with other competitors at the time. It only lasted about 3 years and then just vanished, with one of the publishers, Electronic Arts, just sort of shaking their heads in disapproval. But does that mean the 3DO didn't have any good games? Well, that answer is, it's up to you. I personally don't think the 3DO is all that bad. Sure, there are a few rotten eggs in there, but maybe after we look at a couple games, you'll see a few gems that you might not have known about. Don't worry. We're still gonna look at some of the fucking bad ones, because there are quite a few. God, there's so fucking many. First up, we have Space Hulk, a first-person shooter sort of in the style of Aliens vs. Predator on the Jaguar. You go around, shoot up aliens, monsters, and later down the line, you even control more people to take down aliens and monsters. Okay, well, for the time, this was pretty advanced, and with how advanced it was, the 3DO couldn't really handle it as well as it should. Sluggish frame rate is the biggest drawback with the game. Just walking around feels like a chore, and sometimes when you die, it doesn't feel well deserved. It feels more like it's the game's fault for chugging so bad than yours for actually messing up in the game. Not to mention, the storyline is just garbage. It's really nothing to write home about. Here, I'm going to give you a synopsis in one sentence. You start in the 41st millennium. Which, there you go, that's all you really need to know. That's enough for most of you to get that the story isn't the selling point of Space Hulk. Although the game has not aged well on the 3DO, it does look pretty fucking good, especially for 1995. The times the game does run smoothly, I really do like the aesthetic. These mid-90s FPS games with the Mortal Kombat styled sprites just look super cool to me. One of my favorite little effects that it has is when the aliens get right up on you and the screen just goes like, you know, like the old TV flicker. Oh fuck, man. Ooh, it's so good. Probably the biggest issue out of everything is what I said earlier, where you can control more than one character. That's a pretty big learning curve, and can, especially for today's standards, be a bit hard for a lot of people to get into. It's still fun, like once you put the time into it, I swear. This was a 3DO exclusive, which that's pretty cool, until like a year later, when a lot of the only system titles went on to other consoles like the Saturn and the PS1. And just comparing the 3DO launch title to the Saturn port, you can really see the difference when it comes to how sluggish the original version was. Still though, for the time, yeah, it's pretty cool. If I had to give it a score normally, it would be just like a flat 3 out of 10. But for 3DO standards, a 6 out of 10. It's not really something to go crazy about nowadays, and some people might not understand why someone would play this, but back then, oh fuck man, it would probably be pretty spooky. Next up is the go-to game on the 3DO, Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Not only is the game a pretty dang good port of the arcade title, it was for the longest time the best version of Street Fighter 2 to play at home. Graphics are great, controls are responsive, and damn, was the music just... There were some downsides. Sometimes when you do certain things like jumping, the game will try to load, which is kinda weird. I'm guessing that's more of a flaw in early CD technology and not something the developers could really do anything about until they had more know-how of this new fangled fucking way of making games. The characters, although looking awesome, are missing a few bits of animations here and there, but to me, it's hardly noticeable, especially in the middle of a fight. You know what I mean? Whew. It's great. If you somehow have a 3DO, go get the game. If I had to give it a score normally, this would be an 8 out of 10. And on 3DO, like 3DO standards in general, it's like a 5 out of 10. That's crazy. Nothing else to it. It's just a really fucking good port. Shame it's on the 3DO though. Another FPS on the 3DO. Killing Time. Spooky to the extreme. You go through dark corridors and defeat monsters to gradually progress through the scary mansion. And the frame rate, just like with Space Hulk, is a bit lacking, but it's not as bad with this one, at least from what I could tell. I'm guessing there isn't that much to load, even though the whole game is set out as like one big fucking level instead of like multiple parts. So like, honestly, it's pretty fucking high tech, pretty advanced for a 3DO game. But still, it mostly has the same issues as Space Hulk. And even then, some of the fucking sound effects are really wonky. You get that a lot with a 3DO. Most things just don't fully fit with what is happening in the game. You could just blast an enemy and some Nick Jr. Oswald sound effect shit would pop up, and it's just so jarring that it could put you off the whole game. But the atmosphere in this title is nice, and it's not bad. It's just you know, it's a 3DO game, so it has something to it that just doesn't feel right sometimes. But if you're still looking for a title to play on the system, this one's pretty fucking good. There are moments that still look pretty cool, like when ghosts come out of nowhere and you can actually see them moving around in full FMV and it's not like a stationary fucking video. Oh my god, that is so fucking cool. Nobody else on the 3DO has done that style before, and it's just, I love it. I don't know why, it's just the aesthetic. Oh, so cute. But still, for normal standards, it's a pretty average game. It would be like a 5 out of 10. But on the 3DO, if you wanted like a 3DO styled of game, ooh, 7 out of 10. This one kind of feels like a 3DO game to me. Next game is Starfighter. Okay. Oh, Starfighter. This isn't just on the 3DO, so I don't know why I put it on here. It's on the PC, PS1, and some other fucking systems. I don't know. But this game's kind of fun. I actually still play this from time to time. You do a lot of dumb missions in this game, but no. Listen. What you gotta do actually is just fly around. Take in the sights. Drink a nice cup of coffee. Breathe in. Breathe out. Shit. You're fucking weird. That's it. That's the only reason why I really like the game. I'm sorry. 10 out of 10 normally, and both ways. 3DO 10 out of 10. Okay. Alright. Anyways, let's go to the next one. And now finally, this is my favorite game on the 3DO. And you could have guessed it, it's a fucking other FPS, Jesus Christ. It's called Escape from Monster Manor. Not only does it run very well, the sound effects are decent, and the look and feel of the game is nice, which you can't say often for a 3DO game. It runs really fucking good, which, oh my god, I don't know how to explain it, but the 3DO is so fucking sluggish, and it's so nice to see an actual running fucking game. I hit my headphone, far! It is a bit difficult, and the levels sort of bleed together, but it's still good, at least in my opinion. A lot of people think it's a little too hard, and it's kind of boring, but fuck, I like it. But the music is, well, it's alright. It's the best way to put it. It does fit the mood for the scary areas you will traverse in the game, but now that the game's, you know, well over 20 years old, it's those fucking old screaming sound effects are just a little bit much now. You know, honestly, you could slap all this music on a fucking Halloween music CD and call it a day. The weird thing is, though, to me, it sort of makes the game charming, like a B-movie almost. Super fucking rough around the edges, but it really shines in its own regard. You can feel the love in this game. You don't get a lot of stuff to collect besides knockoff like Chaos Emeralds and little power-ups here and there, and that's really it. That's pretty much your whole experience. For me, I like this game more than anything else on the 3DO. I don't know why. It just resonated with me, I guess. For a normal game standard, I'd probably give it like a 3 or a 4 out of 10. But for a 3DO, I'd say a 9 out of 10. It feels like a fucking 3DO game. I probably should have said this before, but if you were paying attention, this game normally didn't score higher than most of the other games on this list, but for a 3DO game, hey, look at that, it's really up there. This one just screamed 3DO to me. You know, that one game from a system that when you see it, or if someone brings it up, you're like, ah, yeah, that's on that system. That's what Escape from Monster Manor is like for me. Love it to bits, but normally, I know this game's stinky. Okay, that's 5 whole pretty good games on the 3DO. There's a few more, but I won't talk about them here. Now for the bad. I don't even know what to classify Virtuoso as. Sort of like a shooter, sort of not. Kind of reminds me of a Virtual Highlight on the Sega Saturn, if anyone's played that. Your character is in that Mortal Kombat real-life sprite art, I guess. But the enemies are 3D generated sprites, like Frosty the fucking Snowman, what the Sort of makes sense when you know the story, though. You're a rockstar bitch who decides, man, life is hard being a rockstar bitch. So he goes into a virtual world and fights random-ass enemies. The interface is convoluted, the difficulty is too high, the controls are... so bad. A lot of these older FPS games sort of had like a lock-on ability that you couldn't see. So most of the time you would be like hitting your enemy even though you weren't like spot on. But with this one, it really didn't feel like that. Shit. There isn't a sort of lock-on ability that you see with a lot of, FPS games. This one was more, you shoot, if you shoot the correct way, you shoot straight and it hits an enemy, there you go. It doesn't kind of like arch with it like you would see in Doom or Wolfenstein, where if you're kind of around the area of where the character is, there you go, you got the shot. In this one, you don't get that. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Shit, just kidding. You won't be missing most because of how many fucking enemies are just sprawled around this fucking area. It's just, the game's just off. There's really just nothing else to say about this game. One thing to note actually is the music. For a Rockstar type of game where you're a metal Jesus here, you'd think they'd have some good music, but I don't think you can play any of this on YouTube without YouTube just coming in here and slapping my ass and giving me a strike. But to put it into retrospective, it sounds like if your brother's kind of friend had a band and he wanted you to come listen, and it just sounds like someone just screaming in your ear. Jesus, man, Razor Freestyle Scooter had a better soundtrack. What are you doing, Virtuoso? Stop! It's just all around bad. The only reason to play it is for the weird-ass look of the game. It's more of an art piece than an actual fun gaming experience. Normally a 2, and on the 3DO, it's kind of like a 6. It feels like a 3DO game, honestly. A lot of people that know a bit about the 3DO usually say, The Way of the Warrior is the worst fighting game on there. And even some of the people who know a lot about the 3DO will say, oh, fuck off. Rise of the Robots is the worst fighting game on the 3DO. Well, no. Shadow War of Succession is a Mortal Kombat clone that, got thrown around a little bit too much when it was a baby. You know what I'm saying, fellas? Give me some fucking skin! Hey! Most games have some sort of merit to them, whether it's the music, gameplay, art style, I don't know, box art. But this game just has nothing. It's annoying to play, super unresponsive, the characters talk way too fucking much in the fight. In turn, this makes you want to turn off the 3DO. It looks like they got, compressed into JPEG format, and the developers were like, oh shit, and try to, cut them out with, some Photoshop, 0.001 alpha build, and they just all look terrible. They really do. It's one of the few times where I would say, don't even play it. Don't even look at it. If you see it, punch it. just fucking beat it up, honestly. Normally a 0 out of 10, and on a 3DO, it's like a 2 out of 10. When I was a kid, I had a pretty shitty computer. I mean, didn't we all? Couldn't run anything without it overheating. Shit actually could barely even turn on without overheating. And now that I think about it, that was a bomb. It was gonna be a fucking bomb one day if I didn't, change computers when I got older. But it could play Doom. So, what's going on here? This is the sluggish looking version of Doom I've ever seen. The fucking calculator version looks better than this. You don't even get a full screen of the game, and it looks like that. It's so sluggish. It is so sluggish. You know what the shitty thing is? The only way to get a bigger screen is by a cheat code. Remember Superman 64, where you could like change the size of the screen so the game would run smoother? Just like that. But the thing is, right? Even if you change the screen on 3DO Doom, it still does not change that much. At least not to me. It wasn't that noticeable. And if you have it on full screen, oh fuck off. It's not even playable. It's actually not even playable. The game has really nothing going on for it besides an autosave feature, which, oh wow. Okay, honestly, I don't know a lot about Doom. It wasn't a game I was too into even back when I was a kid, but if my first experience was this version, I'd probably not touch the series for a long time. Probably not until Doom 3 on the Xbox came out. Normally a 0 out of 10, and on the 3DO, a 1 out of 10. There's a small fraction, a little bit of lentils flickering down, 3DO lentils that kind of make me feel like this has a little bit of that charm, because it's so shitty, you know? And here we are. The final game on this list. The worst game, in my opinion, on the 3DO. Can I get a drum roll, please? It's just plumbers don't wear ties. If you know a little about the 3DO, even like a fraction, AVGN kind of talked about it a lot, you knew this was coming. Honestly, I didn't really want to put this as the worst, since it's almost not a game. More like a school slideshow presentation with some softcore porn in there. Oh, weird. Instead of talking about this title fully, which has been done quite a bit, let's talk about the company that developed it, Kirin Entertainment. These guys were a subsidiary of a retailer known as Digital Stuff Incorporated, who helped bring out games like Corpse Killer and Kids on Sight on the Sega CD, which, if you don't know what Kids on Sight is, well...
What is this? What am I doing over here? Danger to keep out. I have... Why is there cactuses in there? Why are there just like bags of cement?
Why not?
Yeah, why not? Okay, why not? Why not? Did I do good? Give me the thumbs up, please.
After Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, Kirin Entertainment helped port the DOS game The Perfect General to the 3DO, which the game was actually okay. It wasn't bad, at the very least. Then the final game with the Kirin brand was an FPS game called Esotery on the PC. This was released just a few days before the Unreal Engine, which in a way just made it, not as appealing. But even so, I actually think this looks pretty interesting. The look of the game is nice, and I'd probably give it a whirl. That's it though. That's all the games released from Kirin Entertainment. 3 games under their belt, 2 being mediocre at best, none of them defining how bad a system was. And nowadays, that's one of the few games people even know that the 3DO has. Even though in my opinion, that's not the case, the 3DO is really not as bad as people make it out to be. For the time, the 3DO was a bit too steep for the pockets of the people, and with only, I believe, I'm not looking this one up, 1 launch title, not as much support from other developers, it sort of just stagnated for a few years and fizzled out. Now you could go into the specs of the system and tell me why or how they cut corners or whatever, but fuck off. I like it, okay? There's some good and some bad games in there. Nothing like the fucking CDI, which is all just so bad. But yeah, there it is. That's it. Thanks for watching, guys. See y'all in 2019. Thanks for watching, boys and girls. Sorry I haven't been around for a while. I've just been streaming, enjoying my life. I promise I'm not shilling out a Patreon or some shit. But maybe one day. maybe I'll get to that point. But instead, if you like this, and you like me, and you like streams, come by my Twitch channel. It's twitch.tv/GrgakGames. I play a lot of trash and Fighter Z, and more trash. It's usually a lot of fun. I'd love to have you there. Okay, anyways. Hope you like the new GrgakGames look. I like it. So that's really it. Sorry for not posting much. I'll be trying making more videos now with streaming and make this like a full-time fucking thing. So, okay. See you guys next time. Or maybe on my stream. Okay, alright. Goodbye. Okay.